Okay, so the last video, I include a link in the description that should have given you understandable proof that these clouds are intelligently controlled. Unfortunately, that video was shot in sepia tone. Somehow my camera was in sepia tone when I filmed those puff balls that aligned like a snowman. At some points there was 5, at some points there was 4, at some points they compressed to 3, and at first they were all staggered, but then they come into perfect alignment and they're leaving a trail behind them as they move this way across the sky through the duration of the video. Intelligently controlled clouds, proven in the last video. Now we're going to show you the controllers of those clouds. But this time, I said I was going to try and break it down into a bunch of small videos with bite-sized pieces. I'm going to give you the buffet here. You take the bites as you see fit. So, I've got a list of the links that I'm going to include in the description, and I'll explain what you'll find in these videos as you click the links. One of them, possibly the least impressive, but I'm just going to go over it right now. It's called Riders on the Storm. I filmed it also from right there at the same spot in front of my house. When these clouds come over that appear to be something besides normal clouds, because I'm already clued in that there's more than clouds going on up there, and I start filming them, and I see a bright white dot go into one of the clouds, and I can see it while I'm filming, and I put my finger out there and I say, you see the little cube? You see the white dot cube? Or square, I think I called it a cube. And these elongated clouds look kind of like fish. On the front of one of them develops something like teeth. And they're pointed that way going across the screen. And the teeth, into the teeth flies this bright white cube. Okay? That's Riders on the Storm. Just so I don't get too carried away and bounce around too much, I'm going to look at my notes here and we're going to go over it. Black Cube Craft Invasion of the AI Tech Singularity. Time is up. May the Space Force be with you is a title of a video that will be linked in the description also. Where I go over in detail these black dot craft that are in another video linked in the description titled Plasma Powered Thunderbirds Source Video. On my way over to Amber's the day I left for Missouri. Clarification, when I said that the cathedral burned on April 19th, the day I left to Missouri, it actually burned on the 14th or 15th, and in the interim period of those 4 days is when I took those screenshots and made a slideshow and showed you there's a portal going down in there and something odd in there. We'll just call it Metatron's Cube, the flower of life, something like that. And that's why I conflated that in the recent video where I said that cathedral burned on the day that I left to Missouri. This video, however, really was taken the day I left to Missouri. And the reason I was going over to Amber's house was to tell her this is Earth School graduation day. It's now or never. You coming with or not? And on the way over there, I'm seeing these dragons in the sky and I'm filming them. And so in the video titled Plasma Powered Thunderbird Source Video, for the first 40 seconds, you can clearly see these 3 black dot craft and 13 others. The reason it's only for the first 40 seconds is because I'm filming that part of the sky and then I push pause and I go film somewhere else. Otherwise, they would have been there for the entirety of however long I filmed, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was. But for that 40 seconds, you can see 3 craft right here on the right side of the screen. I think it's reversed on my camera right here. It's on the upper right side of the screen. But I go over all this and I point them out and I pause it for you and I slow it down and I show you in Black Cube Craft, AI Tech Singularity, Black Cube Craft Invasion. I stop that video and pause it in just the right spots and go over all of this for you. But just to give you a quick summary, in Plasma Powered Thunderbird Source Video that I really took the day I left to Missouri, when I'm just filming these dragons and then I get over to Amber's house and I'm like, look, there's dragons in the sky outside. Come on out here. You can see them. Here, look at this video that I filmed on the way over here. And she's like, is there specks on your screen or something? I'm like, what are you trying to distract me? I'm trying to show you something here. It wasn't until later that I looked at it and I was like, what the hell are those little black specks? Took a screenshot and zoomed in. And what I extracted when I took those screenshots and zoomed in is in the video titled Plasma Powered Thunderbirds Close Up. And when I extract what's in there, there is an image that looks like a bird. and you can see the head and the neck and apparent wings and a tail. And on the head is a perfect circle where the eyeball would be, like a seagull's head or an eagle's head. And all around the edges, you can tell this is an intelligently designed craft, whatever it is. The shape that I extract. I'm also going to explain to you how I've taken these out of MB3's Woodbury fire video, where he was trying to show you one over his shoulder, and Joe Imbreano's video, where he was filming over a military base. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So on my way over to Amber's, I'm filming these dragons in the sky. I get over to Amber's and try and show her the dragons, and she points to some specks on the screen. I'm like, shut up about the specks, I'm trying to show you dragons. Later on, I take a closer look, and sure enough, what are those specks? I zoom in and run the contrast. When I had the eyes and I was running the contrast, multispectral analysis, piercing the veil, using the camera, being able to see in different spectrums that your eyes aren't capable of seeing. I see these specks that she was talking about, and I zoom in on the most clear and present one. So for the first 40 seconds of plasma-powered Thunderbird Source video, there's 3 of them right here. One of them is more clear and present than the other 2, and they're kind of in a triangular shape. This one is dark and clear and present for the first 40 seconds of the video. The 2 below it kind of fade in and out of view, and if you push pause right when they're fading into view, you can see about 13 others scattered throughout the clouds. I have done the pausing for you, where you push play and then pause and get it on just the right spot where you can see the others, and I point them out in Black Cube Craft Invasion, linked in the description. And in one of my analyses of that video, I've also shown that there's a little black cube craft moving in the background, but they're harder to see. So we'll leave that alone for right now. So, the only other channel that I know that has spotted these is Deadeye Customs, and he calls them cloud tenders. Like they're the ones that tend to the clouds. Or maybe they're the ones that control the clouds and make them take these dragon shapes with cymatics, sound frequencies that are projected into a media, and make that media take different forms and shapes. And these little black dot craft cloud tenders might also be what's demonstrating a conscious connection with the observer through something like V2K technology, voice to skull. So, we've covered plasma-powered Thunderbird Source video, where I actually took the original raw footage of the dragons. I'm pointing out dragons, and Amber points out to me the black dot craft. And I zoom in and I extract what those black dot craft are in plasma-powered Thunderbird's close-ups. In another video made by Mr. MB3 Woodbury Fire, again, sorry, I haven't said this yet. In the description of each one of these videos that I'm telling you, the links are in the description. They also have links in the description of them that are pertinent to that video. Mr. MB3 Woodbury Fire, he's showing you a big old smoke cloud behind him, the Woodbury Fire, and he's like, right there, it's over my shoulder, you see it? You see it? And he even throws it into inverted mode, where black is white and white is black. He runs his own color contrast adjustment, changes the spectral analysis. Why would he be doing that if he's trying to point out a giant smoke cloud behind him? Why is he standing there saying, right there, over my shoulder, you see it? You see it right there, over my shoulder? Of course we see it, Mr. MB3. It's a giant fucking smoke cloud. He's not trying to get you to see the smoke cloud. He's trying to get you to see the floating black dot craft that's in the smoke cloud. Otherwise, why would he be saying, what? Look, can you see it? Of course we can see the smoke cloud. Why would he throw it into inverted mode? So, in the Mr. MB3 Woodbury Fire, I show you, I zoom in on the screenshots, but in the description is the original Mr. MB3 Woodbury Fire video, where you can go to the original and see him going, yeah, look, see it? Right there over my shoulder? Mr. MB3 is the kind of guy that shows you things and doesn't force you to see them. That's exactly what he was doing in that video. For those that will, there it is over my shoulder. You see it? Here, let me put it into inverted mode for you. He's not showing you the smoke cloud. I also extracted one of these from a video by Joe Imbriano, where he's driving and he gets the impulse to film the sky, and he starts saying, there's something wrong with these clouds, you guys. Look, this is nothing natural about these clouds. And in that video, I spot one of these craft, and I zoom in on it. And with each one, the MB3 Woodbury fire one, the Joe Imbriano, and the plasma-powered Thunderbirds, when I zoom in on them and run the color contrast adjustments, you can see that there is intelligent design to these craft. And I think I'm already stated this, but the reason I call it plasma-powered Thunderbirds is because on that one, the plasma-powered Thunderbirds from Pleasant Grove on my way over to Amber's, on that one of the three that I zoom in on, the one that's most clear and present, takes the shape of something like a bird, where you can see the head of like an eagle, and then some wing-looking shapes and maybe a tail, and on the head, right where the eyeball would be, is a perfect circle. But these craft clearly have intelligent design to them. So, Joe Imbriano gets the impulse to film the sky, tell you something really wrong and unnatural about these clouds, and he mentions that I'm filming over a military base. There's a military base right over there. So I spot one of these things in his video, pause it, take a screenshot, zoom in on the screenshot, run the color contrast adjustments, and extract an intelligently designed craft. Come on, flip the right way for me. And Boogeyman gets dragon pilled. Where Boogeyman starts seeing these dragons in the sky and describing from the book of Revelations, Revelations 12, the woman that rides the dragon or something, right? That's why I titled it Boogeyman Gets Dragon Pilled. That link will be in the description. And in that video, I go over the X-ray images of an airborne aircraft carrier that I spotted before I went to Missouri. And when I went to Missouri, I went to the house of the guy who took this video using a Santilli telescope that he made himself. It's a beautification mirror. You know, the kind that magnifies your face? It's a magnification mirror, so when you look at it, it magnifies your face and you can see your zits close up. Beauty mirror. You take one of those that has like 4x magnification, and then one of these dome-shaped magnifying glass that you can buy at Home Depot or Office Depot, because they use them like a magnifying glass, and you can put it down on a piece of paper, and it's a dome-shaped piece of glass that is a magnifying glass. So you have the mirror, which is a magnifying glass, multiplied by the dome-shaped magnifying glass that you put on top of it, and then you film into it, and you can see what's in the sky. Santilli telescope only introduced to the public in 2015, and it's called the Truth Bringer. And Santilli, who introduced this to the public, has been discredited by the official academia. They say this guy's a kook. It was only introduced in 2015, and by 2019, a guy on a YouTube channel called KC Kid, I think it's 913. KC Kid, it don't matter. KC Kid 913 makes his own homemade Santilli telescope out the car door. He's got his phone in one hand, and the Santilli telescope is mounted like on a mount that sits on the edge of his car door. And he sets it out on the edge of his car door and films it with his telephone, with his camera. From that video that he made, I take a screenshot and I zoom in and show you that there is an airborne aircraft carrier up there, complete with triangular craft, part 2x2x2, and at the end of runways, here's one of the triangle craft and a runway. Here's one of the triangle craft and a runway. Here's one of the triangle craft and a runway. All within an environment of machinery. Clearly intelligently designed machinery that looks like a blueprint layout. I believe the way I'm able to see this is through the radiation that's penetrating through that airborne aircraft carrier, like muon particle radiation. Like the solar plasma that goes through it, it gives you an X-ray image. And when I adjust the color contrasts, it allows me to see deeper into or more shallow. And so not only do these triangular craft that are within all this machinery, that's clearly machinery, these triangular craft, each one of them has 3 fins off the back, like our SR-22 Blackbirds, like our stealth bombers. that are a triangle-shaped airplane, and at the back of that triangle-shaped airplane, it's got these fins that are like little triangles. Each one of these triangular craft on that airborne aircraft carrier up there have those fins on the back of the triangular craft. You can see that they're sitting in docking bays. This is all shown to you in Boogeyman Gets Dragon Pilled, using my previous videos that are also linked in the description of Boogeyman Gets Dragon Pilled. Also included in the description will be a video titled Pentagon Confirms Airborne Aircraft Carrier / Sentient AI Black Goo plus Optogenetics in the Gloaming and more. The Air Force has come out and announced plans to make an airborne aircraft carrier. When they announce the plans to make something, they've already had it for 50 fucking years. Do you think I might have had a little bit of an effect on their decision to announce that? No, you're not that influential, Jeff. They've acknowledged their plans to make one. I'm showing you that they're already up there. And what else is up there is an entire city in the sky. And the people that are left behind when it's time to say hello and wave goodbye, like David Gray sings in his song, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, are going to see what they missed out on. And the pain that they're going to feel inside and the regret is going to be so devastating. The city in the sky. Louis Farrakhan says there is a giant mothership floating above the earth. That might be what I'm showing you part of. All of these videos I've just described will be linked in the description for you. And within the description of each one of those videos is other videos that you can watch for further understanding, to catch you up to where I am, so you can know what I know, so your heart won't fail you for fear when you see what you see, because it's coming. Catch up. I like to hold the door open for people that are far away, but they have to run a little. Get going. Or don't. Maybe you got other things that are more important.